I'd like to welcome everyone to another Bible study, and today we're going to study Leviticus chapter 6. I'm going to start reading verse 1 to 7, and here Moses is giving the people the instructions from God. So I'm going to start reading verse 1 to 7. If you would like to follow along with me, that's great. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, If a person sins and commits a trespass against the Lord by lying to his neighbor about what was delivered to him for safekeeping, or about a pledge, or about robbery, or if he has extorted from his neighbor, or if he has found what was lost and lies concerning it, and swears falsely in any one of these things that a man may do in which he sins. So here we see it's about a person who is acting rebelliously with intent. Then it shall be, because he has sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore what he has stolen, or the thing which he has extorted, or what was delivered to him for safekeeping, or the lost thing which he found, or all that about which he has sworn falsely. He shall restore its full value, add 1/5 more to it, and give it to whomever it belongs on the day of his trespass offering. So here 1/5 is actually 20% more. And he shall bring his trespass offering to the Lord, a ram without blemish from the flock, with your valuation as a trespass offering to the priest. So the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord, and he shall be forgiven for any one of these things that he may have done in which he trespasses. Well, God is always ready to reconcile with us. Now I'm going to continue reading verse 8 to 13. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the law of the burnt offering. The burnt offering shall be on the hearth upon the altar all night until morning, and the fire of the altar shall be kept burning on it. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen trousers he shall put on his body, and take up the ashes of the burnt offering which the fire has consumed on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. Then he shall take off his garments, put on other garments, and carry the ashes outside the camp to a clean place. And the fire on the altar shall be kept burning on it. It shall not be put out, and the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and lay the burnt offering in order on it. And he shall burn on it the fat of the peace offerings. And the fire shall always be burning on the altar. It shall never go out. So I'm going to continue reading in verse 14 to 18, and this is about the law of grain offering. It's about remembering the Lord. This is the law of the grain offering. The sons of Aaron shall offer it on the altar before the Lord. He shall take from it his handful of the fine flour of the grain offering with its oil, and all the frankincense which is on the grain offering, and shall burn it on the altar for a sweet aroma as a memorial to the Lord. And the remainder of it Aaron and his sons shall eat. With unleavened bread it shall be eaten. In a holy place, in the court of the tabernacle of meeting, they shall eat it. It shall not be baked with leaven. I have given it as their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most holy, like the sin offering and the trespass offering. All the males among the children of Aaron may eat it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations concerning the offerings made by fire to the Lord. Everyone who touches them must be holy. Now this eating of the unleavened bread was done in fellowship with others before God, drawing people closer to God. Now this reminds me of when we have communion, when we have it together in the presence before God in our church. Now leavened bread was never part of the tabernacle or temple. It was always unleavened bread. Now leavened bread back then was a symbol of pride and selfishness. Now I'm going to continue reading in verse 19. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, This is the offering of Aaron and his sons, which they shall offer to the Lord, beginning on the day when he is anointed. 1/10 of the ephah of fine flour as a daily grain offering, half of it in the morning and half of it at night. Now I want to mention that all the priests are from the tribe of Levites, but not all the Levites are priests. Only those from the household of Aaron were called into this service. Now the grain offering was finely grained, and a regular priest would do this offering one time in their life when he would begin his service. The high priest would make this offering every day of his high priest service. Verse 21. It shall be made in a pan with oil. When it is mixed, you shall bring it in. The baked pieces of the grain offering you shall offer for a sweet aroma to the Lord. The priest from among his sons, who is anointed in his place, shall offer it. It is a statute forever to the Lord. It shall be wholly burned. For every grain offering for the priest shall be wholly burned. It shall not be eaten. Now this grain offering was done because the primary problem with the priest was sin. It was about reconciliation with God. I'm going to continue reading verse 24 to 30. Also the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the law of the sin offering in the place where the burnt offering is killed. The sin offering shall be killed before the Lord. It is most holy. The priest who offers it for sin shall eat it. In a holy place it shall be eaten, in the court of the tabernacle of meeting. Everyone who touches it, flesh must be holy, and when its blood is sprinkled on any garment, you shall wash that on which it was sprinkled in a holy place. Now in this verse, the word holy means the purpose of God. Now, this sin offering has a power to it. It brings about change. Verse 28, But the earthen vessel in which it is boiled shall be broken, and if it is boiled in a bronze pot, it shall both scoured and rinsed in water. All the males among the priests may eat it. It is most holy. But no sin offering from which any of the blood is brought into the tabernacle of meeting to make atonement in the holy place shall be eaten. It shall be burned in the fire. Well, the most important thing that you can receive from God is forgiveness. And that begins when we see a need to be forgiven. Now, today we find forgiveness through Christ that causes us to become a new creation. And here the objective is, I want to stop serving sin and begin to serve God. Some may ask, where do I find God's standards? In His Word and commandments? His commandments reveal what is right and what's wrong. Now, walking in the Spirit calls us into service and to live righteously and manifest God's glory. So that was the end of the study for today. And next time, we're going to study Leviticus chapter 7. And please join me again the next time. And till then, God bless you all.